Hey everyone, welcome to the SnatchyBuckles weekly update, your source for nerdy news from the past week covering video games, movies, television, and more. It's the 1st of November, 2018. I'm your host, Ben, and as always, I'm joined by my virtual brother-in-arms, Adam. How are you doing today? How's your week been?
It's been good.
It's been good?
Trying to squeeze in Red
As
Dead
much
Redemption.
Red Dead as possible.
I've got too much to play.
There's a lot to be played at the minute. You've got a lot of like ongoing games and
I
then
have
Red Dead.
so much shit that I need to constantly play. I can't. Games as a service is ruining me.
Yeah, and there's only going to be more of them. Like every game that comes out is a game as a service now.
This is completely off topic to the podcast.
That's okay.
Last night, we're in housekeeping.
We're going into housekeeping.
Last night, I had the butt clenching moment of getting a certain boss in Destiny.
Okay.
It only drops a certain weapon if you kill it against the team in Gambit.
Right.
I have never felt my heartbeat in my arsehole so much when we were trying to kill this boss. Like, you know how people talk about in WoW getting like the white whale weapons?
Yeah.
So when that was what it was like.
Like a chicken dinner feeling when your
your
heart's
first
beating.
chicken dinner. Yeah, I was like, right, we need to kill this. If you fuck up, I'm coming to your house and murdering the people I was playing with.
If you're watching this live on twitch.tv/SnatchyBuckles right now and you're not already a follower, then why not give us a follow? It helps us out. If you have messages that you want to send to us over the course of the stream, you want us to read out towards the end of the stream, you can, of course, support the show by doing so with bits or tips. Here on Twitch, the easiest way to do it is via subscription. If you subscribe to us, you get benefits like ad-free viewing experience, as well as a bunch of chat benefits while you're at our channel. And if you're on other services like youtube.com/SnatchyBuckles, or you're listening via podcast, if you're out walking the dog or driving in your car and you're listening to us, exactly, doing whatever you're doing while you're listening to us right now and experiencing the show, getting your weekly update, you could be sitting there thinking, I don't do Twitch, I don't do live content, I've got no interest in that, and I respect that. I like to be able to pause my content and take a little break. And if that's the way that you like to enjoy, but why not head on over to Twitch and set up an account, especially if you've got an Amazon Prime account, because then you can do it for free. You link those accounts, you get a bunch of free stuff from Twitch, a bunch of free games, and you can subscribe to us and feel good while doing it. And it helps us out big time. And we thank you for it. So yeah, basically head on over, twitch.tv/SnatchyBuckles. This episode of the SnatchyBuckles Weekly Update is brought to you by Audible, but we will get a little bit more on that later in the show.
Bookmark that for later.
And bookmark that for later. There is there's not really any housekeeping to do this week, so we may as well just jump straight into the news. We've got a lot of stuff to jump into. We don't have a graphics still, so there's still no housekeeping. Nothing is officially in the housekeeping section.
You're gonna get punished every single. Do we still have them flaming nuts? Every time you don't do a
still
graphic,
have flaming
you're
nuts.
eating a flaming nut on stream.
We do have flaming nuts. Let's head on into the gaming update. Here we are in the gaming update. The world's changed since we left. The world has
been here.
The world
for
is genuinely
hours.
The world has genuinely changed since we left because, as we talked about it non-stop over the last stream, and then I on the last update, and then I streamed it for 40 hours over the weekend.
So how far through SpongeBob Kart Races are you?
I finished the story. Red Dead Redemption 2 released last week, or this weekend just gone, and it has opened with the biggest opening weekend for an entertainment property in history, which is an insane feat. There is a caveat to this. So, it is the biggest opening weekend. It is not the biggest release. The biggest release, a release is considered a 3-day kind of window, which a weekend would be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, things like that. The biggest release is actually still Grand Theft Auto 5, which holds the title at $1 billion on its opening. But it didn't open on a weekend. It opened on a Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Sneaks.
They got it in then.
Sunday's shut like half the day.
Well, it is. But Red Dead Redemption 2 was released on a Friday, so it falls into that window of the weekend, and it made $725 million this past weekend. It is the biggest opening weekend of any entertainment property and second biggest opening of any entertainment property. Rockstar are printing money at this point.
I'm trying to think. When was GTA to come out?
GTA 5, I don't have it noted down here, but I want to say it came out in 2014.
What month? Around September.
I think it was yes, it was. It was either early September or late August. I want to say it was early September because the online portion of the game came out after I got back from EGX, I believe.
Wondering if it was month as well. Released later. People are saying for
yeah,
Christmas.
yeah, it absolutely could be. Although GTA has then also released their other titles in like Aprils and things like that. But yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Everyone's going to be buying those console bundles and stuff for Christmas time. But yeah, that's a crazy release from the game. We've obviously been playing it. You haven't finished. I've finished the story, but I couldn't say I've finished the game entirely. But I thought we could give it a little kind of in progress review of what our thoughts are. So how far through the game are you without giving any spoilers?
It's
broken into chapters. That's not a spoiler. Chapter 2, okay.
And
so you've done the lengthy tutorial. the snowy
was probably
tutorial.
the hardest part.
It's a little slow, the tutorial.
It's a bit of a slog.
Yeah. I imagine it would probably made worse because you were also watching me do it at the same time. Yeah, the tutorial's a little bit of a slog.
I'm maybe like 4 missions in.
Okay.
The best way to put it is I think I've just done a hunting mission.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's the last thing I was doing.
Yeah. So was that with the bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So I'm going to try to avoid story spoilers, but there's bears in the game. I finished it. It took me like 40 hours, a little over maybe 42 hours over the course of the weekend. It was I enjoyed all of it.
That was solidly like waking up, playing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Taking maybe an hour break.
I took an hour break in the evening every day.
Back to playing and then sleep.
Until about midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning every day.
Sleep, wake up, play, eat,
I
sleep,
lived
wake up.
and breathed cowboy sweat and horse manure for the entire weekend. I loved it. It was amazing. I'm still enjoying playing it. I have admittedly eased. It's because there's been other things going on. There's been streams. I've been catching up with TV. So I haven't played it maybe admittedly as much as I would if I'd played it in my own time casually.
You're telling me.
But because I raced... No, I don't even feel like I raced through it. I just went story to story without any big gaps. Whereas if I was playing it myself, I might have got sidetracked. Although I'm lying. I always play a game where I hammer out the story.
Story first and then side
I always
quest.
hammer out story and then side quest, which I'm
Makes
really
the side quest
enjoying.
easier.
Exactly. I am actually really enjoying going through and doing the side quest at this point in the game now where I'm at. But yeah, basically my review, I'd say I've seen a lot of criticisms about different elements. Some people don't like it. Just overall, they don't like the game. They find it too slow. They can't get on board with the character. They don't like playing this villain. I understand
but
that.
Always been...
Well, it has.
John Marston was not a good guy.
He wasn't, but the whole story from the get-go of Red Dead 1 was him becoming a good guy, whereas this time around, from the get-go, you're robbing trains.
Good.
You're holding people up and being a villain, which I think the whole point in that is because everyone wanted that from the last... Everyone wanted to play the good guy in the last game, but everyone was dumping prostitutes on the railway tracks. Like, everyone was being a villain. Exactly. So no, I like the slow gameplay of it. I mean, I did it in 40 hours, and that is by no means slow. I easily think you could do, if you just went story to story without trying to squeeze as much of it in as I could, it would easily be that 60-hour experience.
I've seen complaints about the control as well.
I've seen that. I've never experienced any issues myself. I've actually been very happy.
People are expecting like just the straight bam darting ability in GTA.
Yeah.
Like GTA, you don't like build. Like I noticed in Red Dead, you seem to like build your walk up.
You
a
build
bit.
momentum and stuff. I like
it
that.
has a full momentum system. GTA, you're Sonic the Hedgehog straight away.
Pretty much. GTA itself, I have seen people complain about GTA 5's controls over the years. And again, you do kind of handle a little bit like a tank sometimes. If you try to navigate yourself to a little ledge, you always end up over the other side of the ledge.
I think Red Dead is a lot more tanky, but...
It is. But I don't mind it. You're a big, heavy cowboy. You're riding horses. You're wearing all these coats and your spurs and your chaps.
I think the one gripe I have seen is that to talk with people is L2.
I don't mind that. Just put your gun away. Stop pulling a gun out and then talking to someone. You should expect you're going to aim at them. Just if you put your gun away, you can press L2 with no problem because you have to press R1
I think it's a little bit like people aren't used to it. It's a weird button to have.
Oh, the first few hours of the game, I wasn't used to any of it. I think I pointed my gun at too many people. I ended up locked up in my very first 3-hour play session, the first night of launch. I ended up spending a stint in prison because I ended up fist fighting someone by accident. But once you get to grips with the controls and accept that they're not the same as every other game, I think it's great.
I've seen one comment though that apparently if you turn the dead zone, there's someone that says it's very like you're fighting against the game to turn. I've seen one comment that said turn the dead zone down.
Yeah.
And the acceleration up, the sensitivity up.
Yeah.
And it'll like make quicker. It a lot easier to like. It still has a bit of fight to it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely easier than that.
I don't mind it. As far as aiming goes, I rely on the auto aim all the time anyway.
I don't think it's more aim. I think it's just generally turning with your character.
Again, it's not something I've had an issue with so far. I could understand it. I get other people's, and everyone plays differently. I've maybe I've just been lucky, or maybe I'm just really fanboying hard and I'm being biased. But I've really enjoyed it. I haven't minded the controls. I love the horse riding. I think that's all great. I love all the little flourishes, like the double tapping the L1 to spin your gun and put it away. The different little nuances with the controls that you don't know, like I finished the game story-wise. I only learned yesterday how to use the whistle properly. If you tap up, you do a short whistle. That says to your horse, come here. If you hold up, you do a long whistle. That tells your horse, follow me. So while you're hunting, your horse will follow you along and you can keep putting things on his back. Or if you go and like hop on a train, you do a long whistle and the horse runs along beside the train.
Oh my days.
Yeah, like it's this whole little thing that the game doesn't fully teach you, but it's so
Mythbusters
good.
out for it yet?
I haven't seen one yet.
I haven't seen
Maybe
it.
we should have done one. We should have been the ones to jump on that. But yeah, so out of we got all the reviews last week. All of it was like out of 10. What would your score be at this point? You're still very early days.
I'm still very early days. Mine's probably pushing
an
that
honest
10.
one. You're honest. You're thinking a 10.
I have enjoyed every moment that I've played of it.
Okay, that's what I'm getting. I'm honestly, I was still wondering if it was going to be my game of the year, and I'm a big Rockstar fanboy. I love all the Grand Theft Auto games.
Come out and it's just shit on everything.
It is.
else.
I think it's my game, and then that's saying something because I loved God of War. It was a phenomenal experience. I loved Marvel Spider-Man, another phenomenal experience. It's more than an experience sometimes. Just those little bits where you kind of wander into a conversation and then they start talking to you, and you're like, oh, like I'm here. I thought I was just watching you. Like,
I remember my very first thing of getting to the town, and I walked into a like a duel, and didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing and got shot straight away.
But it's still the fact that I didn't experience it. I didn't go into a duel when I first went into town.
I didn't notice what you saw when you first went into town.
What did I see? I don't think it'll be a spoiler. It probably is the story.
Man being hung.
You didn't see that, so that was an experience in my game. That's interesting. Yeah, that's how I ended the first stream, was someone being hung outside the town. I've seen lots of things where I'll kill someone in a town and then I'll come back and there'll be the Undertaker will be like talking about like a new body, then they'll reference the shopkeeper and things like that, which is the guy I killed. Or there's things like that. There's lots of little details. I think it's a great game. I think if it's a game you let yourself take your time with and you enjoy it, which I think because you're playing so many other things, I think you'll get the most out of that. And then right now I'm just extremely excited for Red Dead Online.
As soon as I hear Red Dead Online like announcement date and stuff, I'll just hammer my way through the story.
Yeah, well that's it. It's still one of those ones as well that you won't even need to finish the story. It'll be more so just knowing your way around the map, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Red Dead Online, the next bit of news, there has been some secrets found in the companion app's code. So these were starting to be found pretty much straight out of the gate when the game released on Friday. There was references to the PC port is listed in there. That's to be expected. It's probably just a placeholder. I would say don't get your hopes up on it being anytime soon. It's probably 6 months to 12 months at the earliest.
It'll come out when the next gen consoles come out.
Exactly.
And it'll release with that because they want it to be a little bit more polished.
They'll push all the polish up. Yeah, exactly that. But they have... It's the guys over at Rockstar Intel reported on this. They also found references to the Rockstar editor, which we know is built into the Rage engine already. The Rockstar editor is basically lets people record. You can record anything, and then you can go in and move the camera around so it record. It's almost like an action replay, but basically it lets you move the camera around and change it and all that sort of stuff. So I think once that does drop, we'll see a lot more machinima and things coming out of Red Dead. We got a lot of that with GTA. The big references, they referenced multiplayer adversary and multiplayer series, which these are event types in GTA Online. So I imagine that like series is essentially like the playlist. So you see the little dot on the ground, you go up. Adversary mode came out in, I would consider it the second half of GTA Online. It's the game mode, if I'm not mistaken, it's the game mode that takes place in the world, so it'll be a challenge that pops up and it's like skydive for the longest or do this, and it pulls everyone in the session into doing this activity. Some people love it, some people hate it. Like they hate being pulled
like
in.
it.
I didn't mind it.
You don't have to do it.
No, you can just ignore it. So I didn't mind it.
You'll be pulled in, but you don't have to actually do anything.
So it looks like that's going to be back in this, and with the series events, I imagine these are the references in the code. They look like they're going to be because there'll be blips on the map. So I imagine series, it means that on the companion map, you'll see these new things popping up. But the big references are to private session was seen in the code.
Everybody's wanted that.
When we had solo sessions in GTA Online, well, I'm hoping it's going to be a little more than that, and it's going to be a little bit more fleshed out than that, and not restrictive.
Like the living world
and
of
then
single player, but with your friends.
Well, that's
what I hope
big one.
Multiplayer is in general.
Is the term seamless PvE is seen in the code as a variable. That is a big one because that to me screams exactly what you just described.
It feels like you could be playing along.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, I go, right, I'm going to join your game. And then that's it.
The only thing that I think they'll need to work out with it is if I'm playing in my own game, I'm surely playing as Arthur, for example. How will it do it? Will it suddenly I'll become my cowboy?
Actually, no, that's a good point.
So maybe it's going to be that you choose to play in this Maybe Red Dead Online is going to, essentially be like the single player. There will be quests and stuff around. You get to play as your own cowboy and make your own story, but other people can jump in.
Imagine.
That would be the best way to do it. You get to forge your own story in this world.
I'm going to be a mountain man.
You're going to be a mountain man, grow out the beard. I actually loved growing out the beard. And the one recommendation I can make to the game, and I won't give any spoilers, is as you're coming in towards what there's 6 chapters to the story, basically. And I won't detail what they are or how long they are or anything like that. Growing a beard out was the best choice I made. I let Arthur have the biggest beard he could, and it made some of those like cinematics towards the later end of the story just so good. Like it looked so cinematic. It looked like a movie. But yeah, so there's those references in it, and the final reference that actually this just popped up I think today is hidden catalog items that have been found in the code, which list 10 properties. Each of these spread around the map. We can't see exactly where they are. Right now, they're all listed at $1,000, but also all their description. They're literally just property 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Property 6 has the tagline "rugged homeliness in the countryside," but the rest, all the descriptions are just like lorem ipsum. It's just the placeholder text that they use for everything. So I imagine they'll also not all be 1,000. They'll probably be different prices, but they are also already in the catalog ready to kind of roll out. So that confirms we are going to have player-owned. It's not a surprise.
It wasn't a surprise. It needed it.
We're going to have player-owned housing in online, much like we had with GTA 5. So, or GTA Online, I should specify.
I don't think anybody's going to actually be able to call out how this is going to look.
No, it's so it could go any way at this point. It could just literally be a clone of GTA Online, or if they stick to their guns, no pun intended, and keep that same feeling of GTA Online, of Red Dead Redemption 2, of having this slower gameplay, this grittier gameplay, this more real gameplay. If they bring that into online and have where you have to go and pick up ammo, you need to craft things, you can go hunting, you can use that to get all these different materials.
If we could go hunting together.
You've got to go, you're low on food, so it's like, let's go do a hunting mission and we'll set up camp somewhere and we'll just cook and everything and get all our food up so that we can go
together.
Exactly, so that you can like cook your food up to get like the best meats and things off different animals, and then we can go and hit a train robbery, but we've got all our gear ready. That is the game that they could make. On the other hand, it could just be GTA Online, where it's just people running around killing each other over and over again and hunting. We'll see.
I also see that the Red Dead Redemption world is perfect for like Rockstar going, we're going to make a Battle Royale game mode.
Yeah, they could do that. That could be an adversary mode.
But it's not going to be like 100 players.
No, it'd be like 32, 64 sort of thing. Yeah.
But I feel like the gameplay of Red Dead Redemption 2 lend itself to a lot like...
I could see them doing that.
You're essentially having a gunfight.
It would be easy to throw it in as just simply a game mode rather than the whole game revolving around it.
Oh yeah, I couldn't see maybe Hunter versus Hunted.
Yeah,
Hunted versus Hunted.
I could see bounties being a bigger thing because right now in GTA, if you kill a player, they can set a bounty on. You can set a bounty on someone regardless. You don't have to have done anything to you. But all that bounty does is tells everyone else in the map this person's worth something. Go kill them, get the money. Imagine if it didn't work that way and you place the bounty on someone and it's only players that go to the bounty office go to the sheriff to pick them up. So you could spend all of your days just being a bounty hunter. You could just rock up and go, I'm just going to check the sheriff's office, see if there's anyone wanted in this session, go pick it up and go hunting for them.
Maybe it doesn't even do that. Maybe the seamless PvE side of it is you go into town, pick up a bounty, it's not in your server, and then as soon as you walk out, this game connects you to...
Okay, so more like the, I guess Destiny's a good example of it.
Yeah, it's a good example.
The game world where you can be in a party and then you can keep connecting to other players as you move around the world.
Yeah, like a little web.
Yeah, exactly. So it just keeps connecting. So it always feels like there's people there. You're never in an area where there's no one because there'll always be another player
When do
playing.
you think we'll have the announcement of it?
I honestly expected today, but obviously it's not. I thought it comes out in November. 1st of November would be the perfect time.
Did they bring out the GTA
The trailer
Online
for GTA Online dropped, I think, before GTA 5 dropped. It was like a week before, maybe.
I think maybe next week.
You think
by the end of next week it might come? Like the trailer will come out and be like, "You've had 2 weeks to play the game.
Yeah.
Here's your info about online."
That sounds fair to me. But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait for more Red Dead Online. If you're a PlayStation 4 player and you want to be part of the SnatchyBuckles posse when it comes, I think that's what they're calling them this time. I think there's posses, which are essentially like a temporary one, and then there's permanent posses, which are carry across.
The PPs.
Exactly, the PP. If you want to be in our PP, then join the Discord. If you're in chat right now, live on Twitch, you can do !Discord. If you listen to this via podcast or... on YouTube, you can head on over to snatchybuckles.com/Discord and join the conversation. Next up in the news, we have a potential future game that hasn't actually been announced yet.
I saw this morning. And
it's a big one.
A little bit of us got excited.
Yeah.
A little bit of us died inside him. Then remembered
at the potential of who could be doing it.
Yeah.
Yes. So the big announcement is that Little Big Planet may be getting another sequel. Ryan Brown, he's a journalist from the Daily Mirror and the BBC here in the UK. He took to Twitter to reveal that a new Little Big Planet announcement could be coming on November 2nd. That's tomorrow. He said, I have a fairly solid source on a new Little Big Planet game announcement coming on November 2nd. Don't quote me on that, though, unless it turns out I'm right. Then totally quote me on it. Well, we've quoted on it here. Yeah, exactly. So he's someone who's in the industry. He gets to find out this information, and he has actually posted in the past of things saying that when an announcement will come. He did go on to say it might not be like a trailer, it might not be even a logo, it might just be the developers going, we're working on it, like it's happening.
It seems random for it to be on a Friday, though.
Well, I feel like there's probably a handful of studios out there in the PlayStation ecosystem that were counting on PSX to be their big announcement dates, and they don't have that now. So they're probably just throwing things out around November, December time going, oh, we're working on this.
I could see that maybe an announcement trailer being like, we're working on it, and then when it gets to Game Awards,
that could be, yep. Well, Kind of Funny's also doing their own one, yep.
They've just went, here's our trailer from PSX.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so obviously the first game, the original one that everyone fell in love with, then the second game were made by Media Molecule. They're currently working on Dream still, which I still don't. Is this having an official release date? I don't know,
but it looks
sometime
so good.
early next year, I think.
So good.
Yeah, well, we got to play it at EGX, and it was phenomenal.
The base game's going to be amazing story-wise.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The community side of it's just going to be a whole.
It's going to be so
game.
good.
We'll essentially get two games.
Yeah, we'll probably do quite a bit of content in that because I feel like we could do some good like little competitive and cooperative sessions in that, playing through like player-made maps.
Maybe the little big announcement is that they've built Little Big Planet within Dreams.
In Dreams, that would be a big one. The Little Big Planet 3, which was still a good game. It wasn't as good as 1 and 2, but it was still a fun game. They tried to experiment with it and added the whole
they tried to go off like on a tangent. It just didn't work.
It didn't work as well. It was a fun enough platformer, but it didn't. There was something missing.
Story.
The thing that was missing was Media Molecule, I think.
Yeah.
That was made by Sumo Digital, but currently they have a huge slate of titles in development, including Crackdown, Dead Island, and Team Sonic Racing. But they are a big studio; they could be working on the next.
Is Dead Island even still coming out?
They picked it up after it was basically dropped. So Dead Island 2 is now in development by Sumo Digital, and it's supposed to be coming next year.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll absolutely see. We'll see what happens. But they are officially working on it.
First one got announced.
I love the first.
The first one was amazing, but can you remember when it got announced at E3 and it took
the original trailer?
The original trailer got announced at E3 and everybody lost their shit.
Yeah.
And then it must have taken at least 3 to 4 years before we
saw
anything else after it.
Well, because the original trailer wasn't gameplay. It was was probably Blur or someone that did it. Yeah. But yeah, Sumo Digital are a big studio. They could absolutely have room to do it, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see who announces it. I know you've suggested that it could be Sony are going to give it to someone else, like they did Sumo Digital. So we will see. But yeah, that was the announcement of Little Big Planet. So yeah, and that's a sequel. Something else that we've got right here is a trailer. Have you watched the trailer?
I couldn't hold not watching it.
No, I watched it as well, but we're going to watch it again right now with you guys. This is the announcement trailer.
It with audio, so
okay, so we're going to get to see it with audio this time. This is the announcement trailer for.
Should we go big picture?
Oh yeah, we'll go big with it. For Medieval.
Just can't wait. I'm as giddy as a schoolboy.
Yeah.
At Christmas.
It looks good.
This is what I picture.
This is what you imagine
in my head.
And then it shows in this trailer what it actually looked like.
He handles so like
he
handles like he handles in the original game. Did you ever play the original?
I played the original. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I enjoyed it. Like I remember enjoying it as a kid, but it's not a one I ever went back to.
He handles the same way.
But it looks so much nicer.
It does.
Everything's getting that treatment now. I mean, we've got Spyro.
Like, look, that was all grey wall. Now we've got trees.
That's it. It's doing it's the Crash Bandicoot
this
treatment.
Bit, that part where he's jumping over the rocks makes it just sell it. They've kept the movement of what you would expect Medieval to be. I feel like if they had gone too fluid, it would take away from the game a bit.
I'd be interested to see a full playthrough of the original. Maybe if we get a release date at some point soon, if it's far enough in advance, we can do a playthrough of the original game. I feel like it's something that nowadays you could probably play through in like 2 hours. Back in the day, it probably took like 20 hours, but now,
I don't know.
You're an adult, do you think it'll be harder now because you've gotten so used to the niceties of
It's back in the day
games.
where
there was no niceties.
Games were brutal.
Yeah, games were really brutal.
It has that Dark Souls feel. Like
I get that.
Dark Souls
especially
feel,
the aesthetic and stuff.
And like how you move a little bit.
So that was Medieval coming 2019. You were really hoping for a release.
I was hoping like this year, but
If not just, it's out on Halloween.
Yeah, or early January. That's what I would like.
Yeah. So that was Medieval. Medieval follows the story of Sir Dan, an unlikely champion who met an unfortunate end on the field of battle. He receives a chance at redemption when his nemesis, the elder sorcerer Lord Zarok, accidentally resurrects him 100 years after that fateful day. Lord Zarok seeks to conquer the kingdom of Galomir, and only the skeletal Sir Dan stands between Zarok's army of the undead and the kingdom he swore to protect. Coming next year. It looks good. It looks good. It looks fun. I like seeing a game that I remember from being a kid and going like, yeah, as you said, that's how I remember it. Like Spyro. I wasn't a huge Spyro fan, but I'm really excited for the new one. I know you definitely are.
I can't wait. Like, it's literally like Sony have gone, right, we all missed the 90s games.
Yep.
So we're going back to the 90s and bringing everything back. I'm just waiting until they bring out Siphon Filter.
Oh yeah, that'll be another good one.
We've already had Crash. Someone.
Or if they do, if this tease of a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake would be...
remake Metal Gear Solid 1, I know we've done it within, 6-7 months of the old one?
The first game was nearly a year ago because it was one of the early things we streamed. We're coming up to our 1 year anniversary soon. That's how long ago.
Even if they brought out a remake, we would still end up playing it through on stream.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because then I wouldn't have to fight myself in the keyboard.
Well, then maybe that's why we've got a story coming up. We'll go back to that. Put a pin in Metal Gear Solid. For now, though,
I'll bookmark it.
Final Smash Brothers characters have been announced. It was the final Nintendo Direct for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate today. So the final characters have been announced. There is actually a little video to go along with this that we could just... I can mute from... Actually, if you could mute it. Yeah, and then we'll just have it down in the corner down here. So yeah, the final characters have been announced. This was from the Nintendo Direct. Ken from Street Fighter has been added to the roster.
Given.
Along with, I'd never even heard of this, Incineroar from Pokemon has been added.
It has to be like...
You'll see it in a second. Gen. It must be one of the more recent, because I don't recognize it at all. And I'm sat here in a Pokemon t-shirt, but this is original 150. Like, I know some in like the 300 kind of range, because I did play the later games, but I fell off learning them after 150.
300, maybe a handful of 4s.
Yeah, maybe.
But after that, I'm just like...
I'm imagining a lot of your knowledge will be Pokemon Go at this point.
I would point at it and go, I remember looking at that.
Yeah. I'll recognize the looks of some of them, but this one not in the slightest. I think this is it coming up now that it's going to reveal it. But yeah, so Ken has been added. That makes the total characters, this is according to IGN, 74 playable characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That is a hell of a roster. That's a big roster.
You're not a fan.
I'm not a fan, but I'm not a fan. But what it is, it's not a game I've ever been good at. And I feel like a game like this is only something that you can really enjoy. This is the Pokemon. It's only something you can enjoy if you at least have some form of... I wouldn't even say skill, just the ability to play it without being terrible. Because I am terrible at it, I just never found enjoyment in it. That's all it comes down to. I guess it's just the competitiveness, but it's just... I've never been good at it, so I've always just kind of been like, no, I appreciate everyone's love of it.
Pokemon looks a little bit like Dr. Eggman if he was an animal.
Yeah, I can see that, absolutely. It looks weird. It doesn't look like a Pokemon. It looks like a giant fiery fairy. But no, I appreciate everyone's excitement for it, and I know it's a big thing in the Nintendo community that it's exciting. I think it's a very cool idea, and the fact they've got 74 characters is insane, and that's not the end of it, because they're going to be doing DLC. You already saw that they're doing the Fighting Pass.
They've already announced the first DLC.
They have announced the first one. What's the first one that they've announced?
It is the Piranha Plant.
It is the
Piranha.
So this is from the Super Mario Brothers universe, which obviously Super Smash. It all fits into the same thing. And the Fighter Pass, you can get the early purchase for it for $24.99. Otherwise, I believe it's $5.99 per pack as they come out. But yeah, along with all the fighters that have ever appeared in a Super Smash Bros. Game, Ultimate is introducing a number of newcomers to the series, such as Ridley from Metroid, Simon and Richard Belmont from Castlevania series, and Animal Crossing's Isabelle. So this is a great one to stop on. This is the let me just knock that into big so you can see it. This is the kind of mural that they update every time they add new fighters.
Start extending it more and more out.
It is.
Up.
Where's the guy? So there was a lot of theories going on a while ago. I see where he's slotted in, I think. Yeah. So there was some weird stuff where there was like adjustments that had been made to it over time, and there was like hard edges where you could see the Photoshop hadn't been done properly because there was a Nintendo Direct that was supposed to happen a little while ago and it got cancelled because there was an earthquake, and then there was some weird changes to the poster. So this thing's been, a lot of people have kind of picked
It's an
over
ever-growing picture.
It is, and it's massive. But I think this is the end because the game is out this month now. So that was the last Nintendo Direct over it. That's the last characters to be added. It's exciting for anyone that is a big fan of Smash Bros. The other reason I'm not excited for it, I don't have a Switch. I have no reason to be excited for it. If I do pick up a Switch down the road, I will absolutely be excited for it. But right now, I don't have one.
Yeah, the reason I enjoy it is because I had my Wii, and it was pretty much one of the only games that I had, and I just spent my time either fighting my brother or fighting the AI at ever-increasing difficulties.
I think I've got the last one on the Wii U and 3DS. Like, it was a cross-buy where you got it on both.
That's how I played the first one on the Wii. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's where my love have come from it, just time killer.
Right.
Because the last one I played had a load of mini-games where it would just be like, try bat this ball or character the furthest, and it would just be the mini games, just trying to get all these
pretty cool.
little unlockable figures.
Yeah,
and that's what kept this going because I'm a hoarder.
I think it'll push even more Switches this Christmas because they'll be doing all the bundles with it. I know they've got that. They've also got Pokemon Let's Go. That's going to be another one that will sell Switches. Honestly, I think it's only a matter of time once they do the next iteration. They'll start selling like a downgraded version of a Switch, which will be like exclusively like for younger kids.
Yeah,
you know, they did the 2DS where they brought them out where it was like, here's the one for your kids to play Pokemon and stuff on. It's a bit cheaper, but it's got a little bit less features. I think that's going to be the next move.
The rumor of like all these next gen consoles are coming out.
Yeah,
I'll say they might just drop the price of the original Switch.
They probably will. It'll probably go down, but they'll probably be bringing the next iteration out anyway, around that same time, if not even sooner than that next year. Speaking of consoles, but not necessarily a new one, this console was announced, I want to say it was maybe a month ago now, the PlayStation Classic was announced, but the entire games list wasn't now. Sony have announced the entire games list. You're going to bring that over? That's perfect. I'll go big while I kind of read through these. So the console comes with 20 preloaded games on it. It also looks pretty cool, just having that little console again. And it's the old school
lid
one.
Opens?
It would be cool if it did, even if it doesn't serve any purpose.
Yeah.
So the games that come with it: Battle Arena Toshinden, Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII, Grand Theft Auto, Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Revelations Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. That's some good games. There's a lot of good keystones in there that were part of my childhood. Honestly, I don't remember playing a Rainbow Six game on the PS1. My first Rainbow Six game was on the Xbox, and I honestly thought that was the first Rainbow Six game. I didn't know that there was a one on PS1. That was good.
Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII's on everything at this point, so that's not... I'm actually surprised it's on there, if I'm perfectly honest. I know there's been a lot of complaints that it doesn't have Crash and it doesn't have Spyro, but obviously they're not going to put those on because they're wanting to sell the new ones on the PS4 rather than you going and buying this other console.
What the fuck was that game?
That was...
Intelligent Cube or something?
Yes, it was.
Never even heard of it.
There's a few of these that I actually genuinely...
Mr. Driller, I didn't even realize was on PlayStation.
No, I didn't. I think I played that on a different console. There's a couple of these that I played on different consoles. But yeah...
The fact that you get the original controllers...
The original controller, yeah.
Which will feel so good to hold as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that you could take anywhere.
Oh, you really could, because it'll just be a simple little...
I'd say it's maybe about the size of your iPad, and that's pushing it.
It might even be smaller than that.
Yeah.
You know? If you look at the size of those controllers, they will be about... We're going to just do a quick check. For any audio listeners, we're grabbing a PlayStation controller right now.
I don't think we've got one near.
I do not have one near me, but if you think about the size of a PlayStation controller... the console looks like it's about that size of a controller. If you would have moved that on top of it,
it might have enlarged them. The picture.
I think it is tiny. It's about the size. Like the board inside's probably like a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, it is a tiny little thing, and I imagine it'll be a simple USB power source. I don't even think it'll be.
They do have the lid button. I'm curious to know.
They do. If you can press it, that's the thing that's most interesting.
That's what I want to know. I want to know what it does.
The console and the controller. The console itself, I imagine, will be a USB power, so it'll just be like you could probably just plug it in any USB outlet, and then it'll just be an HDMI in the back. It'll be simple, as you say. You could literally it's the perfect little holiday console just to pop onto the hotel TV, to take with you.
Out of hotel mode.
Yeah, exactly. Once you turn off hotel mode. But yeah, so that is the PlayStation 1. This next story is an interesting one because it all blew up. I don't know if you saw stuff about this.
A little bit. I haven't read into it.
So I've done a bit of digging. I've been doing a little bit of research myself. Between my research and also Reddit user MidnightPalooza did a big post where he basically dug into all of it. So I'll kind of start from the beginning and paint the picture. Yesterday, a big story came out that Konami had pushed an update to PT. So PT was the what did it stand for? Was it playable teaser or something like that?
Yeah, playable teaser.
So
it was the playable teaser of Silent Hills.
That's the one. Which obviously never came out. It got cancelled, which was such a shame. But yeah, everyone has a hate for Konami because of what they did with that, because of what they did to Metal Gear.
Every single property that they own.
And because they tried to get rid of PT by removing it off the market and stopping people being able to get it. So now apparently they pushed an update.
To make it into a Pinko machine?
To stop people accessing it altogether. It disabled all access. It added the little padlock symbol that you get when you don't have access to a game. Apparently, it added an update. So this happened on Halloween. Everyone immediately jumped on it and went, oh, this is the date that they would do it. It's Konami being Konami. They're being assholes. So on and so forth. So I did a little bit of digging about this. And like I say, this guy over on Reddit, MidnightPalooza, did some real digging. I really appreciate his research. Where he basically went through and found out the dates of actual real posts. So the first report of an update was actually over a week ago. And most people haven't had it. I actually went on and checked. I can still play the game. I have it on my console. No update. Still version 1.00. This update was apparently 1.01. Now, PlayStation roll out updates over a 24-hour window sometimes.
Yep.
But it doesn't take a week. It is never in the history of PlayStation taken a week to roll an update out. So my first thought is, that doesn't exist. That's fake. The next thing, this apparent report on the Silent Hill subreddit was supposed to have come on Halloween. It didn't. It actually came on Tuesday. When this guy posted saying that he has had the game update and now he has a little padlock symbol. He can't access the game. Konami's locked him out. Everyone exploded. Nobody went to check it for themselves. They all just exploded and assumed that...
Did he post pictures of this?
He posted a picture of his game with 1.01, but then someone found that picture actually linked back to this earlier post about an update from a week ago. So it's very sketchy. Very, very sketchy. Again, I can play it fine. I made sure I went and checked for an update. No update whatsoever. I took the risk on actually updating it and it was fine. I've kept it on my console just in case it ever does go away. But yeah, I went through all this different stuff. So, like I say, MidnightPalooza basically picked through those, figured out that the dates were very sketchy and didn't seem right because the original, because the patch was actually released on the 22nd and it wouldn't take over a week to roll out. So that probably didn't happen. The patch probably doesn't exist. Why they would be releasing a patch at this point makes no sense anyway. Other than if they genuinely did want to lock people out.
Imagine if it wasn't that. Imagine if this patch came out, nobody thought anything of it.
And it added something new to the game?
And you saw how long it took people to crack PT to get like the true ending where it goes. This is Silent Hills. Imagine how long it would take people to find it. Because nobody would go, I'm going to boot a PT and play
Well, no, that was my big question. Is this guy obviously, the supposed guy that was reporting it didn't work? My first thought was, why the hell are you playing PT?
Yeah, I guess it was Halloween. Well,
I suppose, yeah. If you're going to sit and play, you might want to sit and play Halloween. Yeah. So the dates were all wrong on it. So I started doing some digging. PlayStation had a slight hiccup in their network on Tuesday. We genuinely have first-hand experience of this because one of our viewers came into chat reporting that he was unable to access Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
Because it was padlocked out. And after trying to figure out what was going on with it, it turned out we suggested it might just be a network hiccup. I did some research. PlayStation reported a slight network outage in some territories on Tuesday around the time that this original post happened. So if I'm perfectly honest, the way that I've dug this out, PlayStation had a network hiccup. This guy couldn't access the game and immediately went, Konami's blocked me, and freaked out and made the internet freak out. And this whole story blew up. And it's all just essentially been a hoax. Whether it started out with a real thing behind it or whether it is just someone trying to look to jump on to create a Konami hate train. I thought I'd put this story in here with my own research because I feel like this news article is probably going to continue doing the rounds for the next few days, and I just thought that our viewers and listeners would be better off knowing at least some extra facts.
With you finding out that the network outage happened on the Tuesday, what it'll be is that he'll console share with someone. He'll
console share, or he has multiple consoles himself.
Yep. Yeah, and that is not his primary, and that's why it locked him out.
Yeah, it'll locked him out. That's exactly that's all that happens. I get it. I actually have had it myself a few times. It happens all the time if you lose any network.
We do it.
Yeah, because we do console share.
Why can't I open this game and you've changed the primary?
That's how I'll have knocked one over for streaming.
And
usually.
I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, you got to go and change it.
And I don't want to knock it off in case you're like doing.
You have to message going like, are you on the console right now so I can like log on and sort it out. But yeah, I think that's all it was. I just thought it would be worthwhile mentioning it because it was a story. It was just kind of a non-story, and I thought it's better to have all the facts. The next story is just a little one. The ESRB has rated Sunset Overdrive for PC. That was an interesting one. Perfectly follows last week.
with like Games Pass coming to PC.
Exactly. So yeah,
did I finish Sunset?
I think you did. I almost feel like you definitely
did. We finished it together. It was a good game.
It was a solid game. I actually started playing it a little bit not that long ago, just as a time killer, just something to play on, just to play with game. Well, I already own it, but just to play on my Xbox.
On Games Pass. Are you sponsored
with
by Games Pass?
I'm not, but I do like Game Pass. I think it's actually a great excuse to turn the Xbox on, and they keep throwing good games at it. But yeah, the Entertainment Software Rating Board (ESRB) has rated the Insomniac Games developed open world action adventure game Sunset Overdrive for PC. It launched on Xbox One in October 2014.
Gee, it feels so.
It still feels quite fresh in my mind.
Yeah,
but it's 2014. It was 4 years ago.
4 years ago. We've had consoles for like 4 years. It's when I pick up my Xbox controller, maybe like blow the dust off it, and I go, "Shit, I bought this like 4 years ago." Because mine's the day one with like the date.
It says day one on it. Yeah. But yeah, there's been no announcement yet, but XO18 is just around the corner on November 10th. Perfect time for them to say it's coming to PC with Game Pass.
So many. When is November 10th?
November 10th is November 10th. It is 9 days away.
Ben. Thanks. It's a Saturday.
That was just a little story. I thought it was interesting. Yeah, as I say, it follows up from from last week's story of Game Pass coming to PC. It'll be the perfect title to launch with it because it's one of Microsoft's best first-party titles.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's an Insomniac game. Exactly.
Let's not lie. The real reason why it's actually a good game.
Because they're a phenomenal developer. The next story, Fallout 76 beta has broken physics. Very interesting. Mostly only affects PC. So.
Wait, the game has broken physics?
Yes, it does.
Or the game has actually broken physics?
Broken the world's physics. There's a black hole somewhere over like at the Bethesda studio.
Is it just how many people? Like, I've seen so many people shit on it.
Oh, I know. It's getting a lot of crap on it. Like, I didn't hate it. It's also a lot bigger than I thought it was to download. It's the same size as Red Dead Redemption 2.
I've also seen that.
I had to delete a game off my console to get it.
The world feels empty.
Yeah. It's huge, but empty.
Like it feels like a Fallout game, but it doesn't feel like a Fallout game. I've seen people outright go, "Fuck my pre-order, I'm canceling it."
Yeah, honestly, I think it might be something to revisit in 6 months' time.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I think it's something that once they pack it with some more content. Yeah, Sea of Thieves, I hadn't even thought of that. That is the perfect example. It's this big, great idea, but it's just lacking everything that makes it worthwhile. Soon as you add all that content in, then I'll maybe come back. I want to go back to Sea of Thieves at some point because they've added loads of cool stuff. That volcanic area looks awesome. You can get like armor with like flaming lava on it and stuff. Looks cool.
Do you want to know how much Sea of Thieves I've played?
As much as you played on stream?
Yep, that's all the knowledge I have.
So the physics in Fallout 76 has been revealed. It's tied to your frame rate.
What?
Which is something that wouldn't affect you in a single player game. Not a big deal. Because they just lock the frame rate. On PC, they lock it at 60. It's always been the way. On console, they lock it at 30. It's always been the way with Bethesda. On PC, however, much like you can with all the other Bethesda games, you can simply change a little .ini file, an INI file, change a little value in there, a couple of lines of the text, and it lets you unlock the frame rate to whatever you want. This works with Fallout 76. So, if you're a PC player and you unlock your frame rate, it means that it unlocks your movement speed. And the physics of the game world, you can pick up objects and throw them, and they act as if time is moving at like 5 times the speed. Like, I watched a video where a guy picked up a bottle normally, and it kind of fell and did that, and then he picked it up and dropped it, and it was like dropping like a bowling... I know if everything drops at the same rate and everything, but like a bowling ball, what you imagine a bowling ball falling. Obviously, I know terminal velocity and all that. No one has to tell me physics. I get it. But yeah, so doing this allows PC players to basically unlock their frame rate and allowing movement speed. Not a big deal for a single player game, but in multiplayer, really spells disaster. One of the quick features is that if you simply look at the floor, and as you know yourself, if you're playing a lot of games, if you're getting okay frame rate, but you look at the floor, you'll see if you've got like frame rate turned on, you can see it like shoots up because the game's suddenly only rendering the floor. You can outrun any enemy in the game by just looking at the floor and running in a direction, and the enemies just can't keep up in the slightest because they're all still running at like the server speed and stuff, whereas you're able to run at like 5 times human speed.
How is that even? How is that being overlooked that happens?
Not a clue.
And then they go, hold up, why is Mike over there in development that's playing like 120 frames per second?
Twice speed he's running at.
Going twice as quick as the server can actually register him. He's literally...
Oh, and the server picks it up fine. Because I saw a video where someone showed their friend doing it, and their friend like zipped across, and they just... It just looked ridiculous.
Bethesda made Sonic the Hedgehog multiplayer.
Well, apparently, and Bethesda have said that they're aware of the issue. They told Polygon that they won't release a fix until the game launches. So for the rest of the beta,
people are going to
continue being there.
That's going to break so much in multiplayer.
Apparently, console it's fine. Like it's not an issue with anything because it's all locked frames, and you can't unlock them on a console. But on PC, broken as
that
hell.
map is very large.
Oh, not if you look at the floor.
Very
You're
empty,
across the other
very
side.
large. You go, right, I'm going to go fucking scout this map for people to kill.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute asshole.
You could be there in no time.
You get, like this person, like you sit there and you wait and you tease him and he runs away and you just look at the floor and zip.
Well, that's it. All you do is if you're running on a
Flash.
you're running on like a exactly.
It's Bethesda
The Flash
secretly making the DC extended gaming universe.
The Flash is just the person that owns a
Bethesda 76.
who owns a 1080 Ti and has the graphics set to low, and he looks at the floor. That's the Flash.
I didn't even.
And then he's getting like 600 frames a second, and he's just away.
I can easily see my Counter-Strike get to 400 frames per second.
And if you just turn everything down to low, you're going to get even more. You're just going to be able to zip across the map. If you think 60 frames is standard movement speed, if you can get it up to 600, you're moving at 10 times the speed of a normal player.
Bethesda, what
and
are
the
you
animations
doing?
do it as well. So the animations actually like you move around like a little. Yeah, it's. I don't understand how it got to this point of development and they didn't spot it.
Every single time a Bethesda game comes out, there is some
There's a
batshit
bug.
crazy
There's
bug.
always a bug.
Do they not have QA?
Apparently not.
Is QA just...
It is difficult with a multiplayer game, I'll give them that, but I don't know how a single player thing like this can. It just shows that it's a single player game that multiplayer's been tacked on as far as the engine goes.
Yep.
So that's Fallout. The next one is something I am excited for, another multiplayer game. No Man's Sky. There is actually, I linked a few things in there, so there's a trailer to go with it. Hold up, I'll do it in the little view for now. If you just want to hit play and keep it muted for this, I'll just go through all the features and stuff. Basically, this is No Man's Sky The Abyss. The Abyss. Let's go big for this one because it looks cool. The Abyss is the update 1.7 for No Man's Sky. It's completely free if you already own the game, and it's available now. It released on Monday. It actually released on Monday. Yeah, Monday this week it released. It has added a load of new stuff and introduces aquatic environments with over 5 times more variety, varied creature behaviors, improved underwater visuals, and much more. That much more includes more frequent underwater creatures that you'll come across, sunken wrecks, lost cargo, new diving helmet and submarine, underwater building module so you can build an underwater base, new substances in the world that you can only find underwater, like you find your irons and carbon and things. New substances, new biomes entirely built just for underwater. You're seeing some of these right now in the graphics and some of the creatures that are down there, as well as they've overhauled the underwater controls entirely so you can actually go diving properly. And all of this obviously still works in multiplayer. There's new things to find. On top of that, there's an entire new story that's been added called The Dreams of the Deep, which follows a dark narrative as you discover the fate of a troubled crew stranded from a freighter crash by the rising tides. And it's already out. It released on Monday. It genuinely makes me want to go and play some more No Man's Sky because this looks like they've made the perfect sandwich. They've taken No Man's Sky, they've taken Subnautica, they've smeared them together, and it looks tasty as hell.
No Man's Subnautica.
Exactly, no Subnautica. That looks like I'm playing, like I know it's just the No Man's Sky HUD, but it being underwater immediately makes me go, I'm playing Subnautica. And I love Subnautica, so that, but then if you want, you can go up to the surface,
jump in a spaceship
and go to another planet. This game's becoming, it's eventually we're just going to have real cities.
It's becoming what it originally envisioned.
It is. Even more. I think they've already hit the point of what they originally envisioned with maybe the last update when they added multiplayer. Now they're going, okay, let's add, there's one of the creatures. Now they're going, let's add as much more stuff. And there's the submarine that you can build. There's also a new vehicle shop that's available in space stations so that you can go and upgrade and buy new parts for all the different vehicles that are already in the game, including the new submersible. It's exciting. I think it's great. And this is a free update. That's a lot of content in a free update.
Everything has been free for it so far.
Oh, yeah. They haven't charged anything because they made so much money on the initial release. And then they made more money when they released the multiplayer update that everyone went, oh, actually, maybe I'll go buy that now. Because, or anyone that sold it went and got it again.
I'll go buy it again.
Yeah, exactly. No, it makes me excited. I think it's great. And I think that's all good for them that they're managing to make this game what they, as you said, what
Sean
they intended.
Murray, wasn't it?
Sean Murray's
Sean Murray has learned his lesson.
He has.
Now
he's shutting his mouth.
He's shutting his mouth. He doesn't speak shit anymore. But also, I think once they inevitably move away from No Man's Sky, imagine what they're going to be able to...
The next game, if they build it with this same technology.
We have the technology, we can rebuild it.
Exactly. No, I think it looks great. It's exciting. I like all the creatures and stuff. I'm very excited for it. I will actually definitely be going back. And also that makes me just think of...
I saw the name of it and I thought it's going to be like some weird space...
Stranger Things or something.
I
got like a Stranger Things vibe, yeah.
A horror like space station or something. I was not expecting underwater.
No, which I think it's cool. The Abyss obviously makes me think of underwater. Okay, so next, and actually the last proper news thing from the gaming update is that Just Cause 4 has gone gold. This is a little bit of a techie news thing. Just Cause 4 comes out in December 4th this year. December 4th, so that's just a month away, just a little bit over a month.
Yeah.
We got to see
3 days.
gameplay of it at EGX this year. It looks good. I love Just Cause.
It looks good. I just hope it runs better.
I hope the frame rate runs well. Well, speaking of running well, it's coming to Xbox One, PS4, but of course it's also coming to PC. And they, along with it going gold, they've released these specs. So this is a little bit techie stuff. I totally appreciate if you want to tune out for this little bit, but the minimum specs, you're looking at a 59 gig install, so that means I would assume on console it's going to be somewhat similar.
About the same, yeah.
About the same. 59 gigabit install space on PC. This is the minimum specs. An Intel Core i5 2400 3.1 gigahertz or an AMD FX 3600 3.5 gigahertz or better for your processor, which isn't too bad. 8 gigabits of RAM for minimum. It's crazy that this is the place we're at now. I remember when it was, 512 meg of RAM was minimum spec for most games.
I remember when we built our PCs and we were like,
oh yeah, 32 gig won't be that much.
Won't be that much.
We're getting there.
It's definitely getting there. The more games are evolving, the more that 32 gig of RAM is going to be needed.
Yep. GeForce GTX 760 or an AMD R9 270 is required for the minimum. The recommended requires an i7 4770 3.4 gigahertz processor or an AMD Ryzen 5 1600 3.2 gigahertz or equivalent. And the recommended requires 16 gigabits of RAM. That's half of our RAM gone right there.
You can only have 10 million Google tabs open while playing.
Exactly. And recommended PC specs, GeForce GTX 1070 or an AMD Vega 56 or better. And now this is the thing I thought was interesting, is that it also has 4K PC specs. So the recommended specs aren't 4K. That's just to get it to run at 1080p at good frames. If you want 4K, the only they did have a slight variation in the processor, but it was very, very slight. But the main difference was it doesn't even have an equivalent for AMD. It's just you need an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080 Ti. That's it.
You don't need the rest of the PC. You just need that 1080 Ti, that one thing. And that'll run Just Cause.
Apparently the only way that they're recommending that it runs in 4K is with that specific graphics card. I just thought it was very interesting that it's very specific. It wasn't GTX 1080 Ti or equivalent. It was just this card.
This card or get out.
So yeah, that's Just Cause 4. I'm excited for it. I hope it runs well. I'd be more likely to play it on console. I did get the last one on PC and console, but I ended up playing it more.
I ended up more of a relaxing game. I think on the you've couch. Now seen how, because you were always a bit skeptical why I have my room set up of being like my PC, my PlayStation, everything's all in the same room.
Yeah.
And you would go, why do you always play everything on the couch? And my excuse was, it's a lot more. Well, not the couch. Like I play it from my bed. I'd rather sit down and relax on my bed.
I get that.
And since you've moved, you've gone, yes, I can see why you do it.
Yeah.
Because
honestly, it's also since the past year, I've slowly changed my opinion because my PC setup's become a dedicated streaming setup. I now don't want to I don't want to spend 4 hours. I also don't want to spend 4 hours streaming and then go I'm going to continue sitting here and playing games. I'll go now I want to go and relax and sit at the couch and play a game. Not to say that streaming isn't relaxing, but you want to separate your life out a little bit. But yeah, that was the last bit of news for the gaming update. But the gaming update isn't over. If you are a subscriber of your preferred gaming service, be it PS Plus or Xbox Gold, there's new releases for you, as there is every month. It's the 1st of November.
1st of November.
So
normally, I think Gold comes out now.
I think Gold drops on the 1st, maybe. Plus isn't far off.
Is the first Wednesday of every month.
Okay, the first Wednesday. So it might not be till next Wednesday at this point. Because
it'll be next Wednesday.
So, but this month on PlayStation 4, you can look forward to Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, which is great because that's a great game.
That's a fantastic.
I've not played Full Clip Edition. Apparently, it comes with all the DLC, which I never played.
If you've not played, anybody listening, watching right now, your PS Plus subscriber, go do yourself a favor and get Bulletstorm when it comes out. It is a fantastic.
It's just a fun game.
It's a fun.
It's so
balls to the wall.
I was just about to say that's it. It is. It's balls to the wall fun. It's silly and it's
silly and it knows it's silly, but it also has that good mechanics behind it to keep it there.
Exactly that. The other free game for PlayStation 4 players is Yakuza Kiwami, I believe is the way it's said.
I think it's the prequel.
Is this the prequel to Yakuza? I don't know anything about this one. So
I think it's the prequel to 1, or it's the remake of 1.
Okay. So
one of the two. It's like one of the first ones you have to play in the new rebooted series to
I see. Okay.
get the story.
So
It's meant to be good games.
Is that? Yeah, I might check it out. I mean, it's on PS4 with PS Plus. If you're a PS3 user, you get Jackbox Party Pack 2. They're always great. Jackbox Party Pack are great fun.
Especially with drinks.
Exactly. Great to break out at a party. And Arcado Series, which I'm not actually familiar with what that is, but that's on PS3 this month. If you have a PS Vita or also a PS4, because these are cross-buy, you get them for Vita and then you get them on the PS4, which is great. You get Burly Men at Sea and Roundabout. These are two games that I am semi-familiar with. We couldn't figure out where we knew Burly Men at Sea from. I definitely I definitely recognize Roundabout, though I've seen people play that before. So yeah, that is going to be available via PS Plus this month. Those ones are on PS4 and on Vita.
We've had a good couple of stellar months.
Yeah,
PS Plus AAA. They did a week month, and now they've gone back to like this kind of like AAA game coming back towards.
Absolutely.
I'll pay the extra that the decided up the price if I'm going to get titles like Bulletstorm and
Bulletstorm's a good one. And yeah, like I say, I think the Bulletstorm, I didn't know anything about this full clip edition. Apparently it came out I think last April, which I missed that release, but it includes obviously it's like a game, it's like a
Game of the Year
edition. I don't think if there was any story based DLC, I never played it. I don't know if it was only online DLC. I know it does have multiplayer. I never really played the multiplayer. I was just
Does it?
Apparently it has full multiplayer, like 16 player matches and stuff.
Fuck,
I didn't have a clue. But yeah, if you're an Xbox Gold subscriber, this month on Xbox One, you get Battlefield 1. That's a good game to get for free.
It is.
It's a fun one, especially in the run-up to Battlefield 5 coming out. It's a fun one to jump into.
It's a tactical deploy by...
Oh, big time.
Because EA tie with Xbox as well.
A lot, yeah. They've got a lot of big partnerships and stuff. Race the Sun is also available on Xbox One. Phenomenal little indie game.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I've put so many hours into Race the Sun.
Yeah, it's just an easy one to sit and chill out, have a few little rounds in it and pop it away and then come back.
Even competitive, like, say you have someone over and you go...
Who's going to get the furthest?
Try beaters.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a Xbox 360 or an Xbox One, because all of these titles are Xbox One backwards compatible, you get access to Assassin's Creed, the one that started it all, the first Assassin's Creed game.
And
yeah, it's not a good one to go back to. If you're going to go back to one of them, go back to 2. Dante's Inferno is the other game that's on Xbox 360.
You played Dante's Inferno?
I don't think I have. I think I've seen someone play it, but I've not played it.
I enjoyed it. Scratches that Devil May Cry itch.
Yeah, what's that? Is it the same developer or is it just the same sort of gameplay?
Same sort of gameplay,
okay.
I think.
If you are an Xbox... I thought I'd add these in the same list as well. If you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, which again, I recommend. Game Pass is great. They're adding 5 new games this month, which are available... some of them are available right now. Some of them are available as they release. Sniper Elite 4, Sheltered, Rise and Shine, Grip, Combat Racing, which we played a little bit at EGX, and it's a good, fun little racing game.
Good little racing game.
It is good. It feels very retro arcadey, but it's very like nice graphics.
Wipe Out with cars.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, that one comes out on I think it comes out tomorrow, and you can get it straight away on Xbox Games Pass, which is I always call it Games Pass. It's Game Pass.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Game Pass. I mean, it makes sense, but yeah, I always add an extra S in there. And the last game is Ollie Ollie 2 XL Edition. I played Ollie Ollie 2 on my Vita non-stop, and it is the hardest game to learn, and it's just the most fun. Like, those controls of like having to flick things and learn all of the tricks and stuff is
like
just...
skate.
It is. It's very, very skate. It's a 2D skate. It's a great game. It's definitely worth playing. Very fun arcade. It's short enough levels that you can just play a little bit and then put it away.
Yeah.
It worked very well on Vita. I can see it being good fun to play on Xbox, especially when it's free with Xbox Game Pass. To round out the games update, we have game releases for this coming week. November 1st, which is today, you can get The Quiet Man on PlayStation 4. I'd never heard of this. It's like a murder mystery thing. It looks pretty cool. It's a PS4 exclusive. Tomorrow, November 2nd, you can pick up Diablo 3 Eternal Collection on Nintendo Switch. And if you haven't played Diablo 3 and you own a Nintendo Switch, even if you have played the Diablo 3, I recommend picking it up. If I had a Switch, I'd be grabbing it.
I think that's going to sell Switches.
To an older market, I genuinely think it will.
Bear in mind as well, if they get that running nicely and polished and smoothly, And with BlizzCon around the corner,
Yep.
and the speculation that we're getting more Diablo.
Yeah, they try to calm down on that, but I still think there's hope. The other game coming out on November 2nd tomorrow is Lego Harry Potter Collection on Xbox One and Switch. I've played through both of the Lego. Originally, they were released as like years 1 to 4 and then 4 to 8 sort of thing. I've played all of them. I love them. They came to PS4, I think, last year. They're now releasing them again under a new title. It's called the Collection this time on the Xbox One, but I think it's just to coincide with the Switch's release as well.
Right.
Really fun Lego games. I didn't know this was happening. I got a press release from Warner Brothers, so I thought I'd add it to the list. On November 6th, that's next week, you can pick up Carnival games on the Switch. It's a bunch of little mini games. Looks good fun. Make use of all the different features in the Joy-Cons, the movement, and all that sort of stuff. Kind of like what was it called? One two Switch. That sort of thing. World of Final Fantasy Maxima comes to Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. Overkill's The Walking Dead comes to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and I've written Switch, but I think I mean PC. I don't think it's coming to the Switch.
I don't think it's coming to Switch.
I think I mean PC. I think I got mixed up.
That's the one I've been excited for as
well. Grip, which is the one that I mentioned before, comes to Game Pass. Game Pass is coming to PC, Xbox One, PS4, and Switch. Everything you can lay your hands on, you can play it on. As I say, it's a really fun game. Definitely one picking up. And The Forest releases on November 6th for the PlayStation 4.
Why do I feel
genuinely excited to maybe play that on the... I've played it a few times on PC, but I've never delved into it because I want to play it multiplayer, and I'm the only one that owns it in my friends list. So I've always been of the mentality, if it ever comes to PlayStation and it runs, the frames are solid, at least at 30, I think it's a one that we could easily stream because it's a horrific little survival game.
What one was the... Oh, we played 7 Days to Die, didn't we?
Yes, and it's that same realm, but I think it's a lot more polished. There's a full story. Like, there is actually a full campaign of getting all the right items and solving things and whatnot, and there's cannibals and you can eat people and... Lots of good stuff.
I'm going to eat you straight away.
Exactly. I thought you might. So that is the game releases for this week, starting the 1st of November, 2018. There's a lot of games. To play. Sometimes it's hard to find time to kind of just sit down with a good book.
Your segues get better and better every single episode.
But much like games are considered the new movies, like Red Dead Redemption that we've been talking about a lot, listening is the new reading. At least that's what Audible believes. And with the world's biggest collection of audiobooks, I think they know a thing or two about it. I'm going to knock on our... Boop. With over 200,000 titles for millions of listeners to enjoy, Audible allows you to enjoy the written word while you're cooking, driving, walking the dog, or riding your horse across New Hanover. You could be listening to your favorite audiobook. From Game of Thrones to The Martian, Audible has something for everybody, and now you can get 50% off your first 3 months by heading to SnatchyBuckles.com/audible, or if you're watching this live on Twitch, you can just click on the banner down below in the info section on YouTube. You can find the link in the description. My recommendation is with the release of Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald coming out later this month. It's now the perfect time to dive into the Harry Potter stories for the first time or revisit Hogwarts like myself. So why not do it with Audible? And it's all narrated by Stephen Fry over the Harry Potter books, which he's a phenomenal narrator for it. So yeah, again, you can pick up your first 3 months at half price, 50% off, by heading on over to SnatchyBuckles.com/audible, or click the link in the description or in the info panel if you're watching this live. That's SnatchyBuckles.com/audible. It's good. You've been genuinely thinking about getting it.
Genuinely thinking of it. You know the one that I always see advertised for Audible at the moment?
What's that?
The Harry Potter one that's read by Natalie Dormer.
I didn't know she read a Harry Potter one. What Harry Potter does she read?
It's not a Harry Potter book. It's like one of the offshoots of it.
Cursed Child?
Maybe.
Oh, does she read the Cursed Child play? I read the Cursed Child book and it made me want to tear my eyes out. And that was me reading it, not listening. If I listened to it, however, I might have loved it. But I hated the book more than anything. Because obviously it's the play. I imagine seeing it as a play. What is it that she reads?
Harry Potter, A History of Magic.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Not someone that I would tie to reading an audio
I would have expected they would have got her to like read Game of Thrones or something. Yeah.
Not Harry Potter.
That is something you can get as well. You can get all of Game of Thrones on...
that must be some long ass...
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to skip a few things down for this next one. But first, we're going to head into the entertainment update.
You throw me curveballs.
Always. Welcome to the entertainment update. We're kicking it off. I've moved things around and thrown Adam off his game here. Just because we were talking about Game of Thrones and Natalie Dormer. The prequel casting has begun for the Game of Thrones prequel.
Do you think they're going to live up to the expectation that everybody has for them?
I've got higher expectations after doing some research for this. So the prequel casting that has started Josh Whitehouse, who's known from the show Poldark, which is done very, very well, and Naomi Watts, obviously famous actress. She's from like Mulholland Drive, loads of things. You would know Naomi Watts if you looked at her, but she's a big actress. They have been casting lead roles in the Game of Thrones prequel. Very little is known about. You'd reckon she's a big actress. Very little is known so far, other than that it's going to be set thousands of years before the Game of Thrones stories. So they can pretty much go. There's going to be literally no crossover except for maybe a family name here or there, or the overall mythos of White Walkers and things like that.
That's an interesting.
I think it's a good way to do it. I think it's a good way to go. Okay, we're not going to try to just do a cheap tie-in. We're actually going to go. It's 1,000 years. It's just the same world. This was the tag that's been released so far. So the show is going to chronicle the world's descent from the golden age. From the golden age of heroes into its darkest hour. And only one thing is for sure. From the horrifying secrets of Westeros' history to the true origin of the White Walkers, the mysteries to the east to the Starks of legend, it's not the story we think we know. The thing that got me excited is it's being created, I didn't know this, it's being created by Jane Goldman in partnership with George R.R. Martin. Now, Jane Goldman, for anyone that doesn't know, is she's a great producer and writer of many of my favorite movies from the past kind of 10 years or so. She is primarily known for working with Matthew Vaughn, but she's done other projects like this. She co-wrote and produced Kick-Ass, Kingsman, X-Men First Class. She co-wrote Stardust, which I love Stardust, one of my favorite older movies. And not even that old, it's probably only about 10 plus years old. You've seen Stardust? Got Robert De Niro as a sky pirate, and he dances around in a frilly frock.
Maybe.
The guy that plays Daredevil, it's what he started in.
I spelled that wrong as well.
You did.
Apparently I can't spell dust.
You can't. Stardust is a great movie. It's really, really fun. You've not seen Stardust? You should check out Stardust. It's a great film. But yeah, she is correct. She's also, this doesn't add a qualifier to how good she is. She's married to Jonathan Ross. That was where I first when I was looking up years and years ago, like who wrote Kick-Ass, because I loved Kick-Ass.
But George R.R. Martin is doing it, and
he's attached, but he was also attached to Game of Thrones as well.
Yeah, but it could take a long time to write.
Well, it could, but apparently I think the script is apparently
Is she taking the lead?
Yeah, she's taking the lead, and she's a good writer. I love her writing style. Like, yeah, Kingsman and Kick-Ass and X-Men First Class, they were all great.
Kingsman 2?
Yeah, and Kingsman 3, which is in development right now. Exciting. That's good. That's good stuff. I mean, Kingsman 2 wasn't as good as 1, but it was still fun.
That was my
it was still fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I would check a third one out. But yeah, I think that's exciting. I'm excited for another Game of Thrones thing. I'm glad that they're doing it 1,000 years apart.
I wonder if they're going to give it enough time as well for the hype of, or the aftermath of next year.
The finale, yeah.
And not go,
right. It finishes and it goes, this Christmas, the next season starts,
New Game of Thrones.
I feel like it'll at least be a year, if not a bit more.
I say 2020 we'll see it.
You think 2020? That's probably a fair thing. Although they're already doing casting now, it just depends on how long it takes to film. HBO are known for filming stuff, and then Westworld was filmed and didn't come out for 2 years. They sit on things for a long time during post-production.
Gotta nest them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like chicken.
We're gonna continue to. We're gonna go to the next story down and then go back up because the next story down kind of ties in. It's another fantasy thing. We have got our first look at our Geralt from Netflix's. There's an even better one if you open the article, that one, and then a little bit further down, it's a little video that plays. Yeah, if you could somehow drag that over as well, that'd be really cool because that's actually him in motion. That's not dragging. You might just drag the window over and full screen it. So yes, while Henry Cavill's place in the DC Extended Universe is uncertain, if you give me 1 second, what is certain is that he's playing the lead in Netflix's adaptation of The Witcher, and this is our first look. I don't particularly like it, if I'm honest. I think it just looks like Henry Cavill in a white wig.
No.
He's too pretty.
This doesn't work.
He doesn't look rugged enough. I think if they rugged him up a bit, he looks like he's. I think he'll be able to act it well. And
he'll be able to act it well, but he doesn't look it.
No, he looks. He's too groomed, and so if we just leave that image for 1 second, that's a bit kind of closer up. Yeah, no, they need to do something else. Give him a beard.
His face is too fucking shiny for starters.
Yeah, I know this will just be screen testing things because
it's
they're just
costume
starting.
And makeup test.
Yeah, exactly.
Clipboard, but
No, I'm not happy with it yet.
No.
I hope they fix it. I think they will. I think they'll get enough backlash that they'll go, okay, let's fix this. Let's make it not just look like Superman in a white wig. Because that's what it looks like.
all it does.
Yeah.
It looks like Superman.
He's so iconic as Superman at this point. Even though he's only been in 3 movies, he's extremely iconic as Superman. Whereas, Geralt looks... Are you looking for some dream cast? I think he's perfect casting. I just don't think they've done the makeup very well. I think they need to make him look more rugged and more like he's, had a troubled past. This is obviously adapted from Andrzej Sapkowski's novels by Lauren Schmidt-Hisrich. She's known for the Umbrella Academy and Marvel's Daredevil, so she's good at writing. The official Netflix logline is listed as The Witcher is an epic tale of fate and family. Geralt of Rivia, a solitary monster hunter, struggles to find his place in a world where people are often prove more wicked than beasts. But when destiny hurls him toward a powerful sorceress and a young princess with a dangerous secret, the three must learn to navigate the increasingly volatile continent together. That's cool. I mean, that's the Witcher that we know. Obviously,
it's going to follow the game.
No, it's 100% the books. They're not following the games. The games are fully, obviously, CD Projekt Red, but they base those on the books.
Yeah.
So they're going the books. But yeah, I think it's in the same way as Amazon's doing their own Lord of the Rings series. Or it's not Lord of the Rings. They're setting it in the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that's because everyone's got to have a fantasy show. Netflix have got Witcher. HBO's got Game of Thrones. Amazon's going to have Lord of the Rings. They got the full rights to the thing. They got the Tolkien family to sign off on it and everything.
Why did I not know about this?
Yeah, I think Peter Jackson said that he stepped out. He's not going to be a producer, but he said that he wishes them the best. He just wants to view it as a viewer for once because he's been so involved for so many years.
I guess he has literally lived
He's lived it for so long. He wants to just get to finally experience it as a viewer. But yeah, that is going to be set in a different time in the Lord of the Rings mythos and that sort of stuff. But it'll be based on the books. They're not going to be tying it into the... I mean, the films are based on... You know what
Gimli.
I mean. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be... They're not going to take any cues from the film. They're going to be going straight from the books and the lore and stuff.
Probably
this will
be
the same.
Earlier than the films are set.
I think it is. It's a prequel. It's set. I think it's set even earlier than The Hobbit. I believe. Maybe I could be wrong. It might be between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings because obviously there was that gap. There's quite a few years there.
I don't know. I don't like him as a Witcher.
You're not happy with... I'm happy with the casting, and I like because he's obviously a hardcore Witcher fan. Like, he came out before he was even announced as casting, when people were theorizing it, and he was asked in an interview if he would do it, and he's like, yes. Like, he's 100% at Witcher 3. He loves the Witcher games. He's read all the books. He's a hardcore fan.
He might be a hardcore fan, but he just doesn't look right.
I think if they rugged him up a little bit, and fix the wig is really throwing me big time. I think they could fix it. I think they could salvage it, but right now... it just looks like Superman in a wig. So yeah, I'll give them a chance. I'd like to see another screen test down the road, but they're going to have to fix it because if he looks like that in the show, it's going to be too distracting and it's going to ruin it.
All the monsters are going to fall in love with him.
Yeah, right, exactly, because it's Henry Cavill and he's a beautiful man. The next movie, we're going to go back to the top, is just a poster that we can actually check out. It's a very simple poster. It doesn't have anything really on it other than just literally that information. I don't know if you want to do it in a new tab so it doesn't have all this stuff in the background there. There we go. Perfect. It Chapter 2 has had its official poster release, and it's obviously got its release date, which is September 6th, 2019.
Very minimal poster.
It's super minimal, but I mean, they don't really need to say anything more than that. I mean, they could, because there is information about the actual plot and stuff. It's set 27 years after the first film.
Because there's a whole time jump, isn't it?
It's a big time jump. It's following the Losers Club 27 years later. They've recast, obviously, all the kids. The kids were phenomenal in the first film, but they've recast. It's now James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, Bill Hader, Jay Ryan, James Ranson, Andy Bean, Isaiah Mustafa, and Bill Skarsgård is reprising his role as Pennywise. I'm excited. I like the first film. I'm interested to see them do a sequel because obviously we've never seen this. This is new territory.
Has Stephen King fully signed off on this?
Yeah, he's behind it all. Yeah, he signed off on it when they announced that they were doing it, and yeah, everyone else is happy with it. So I'm intrigued. The director's good. You've not watched it yet. It's worth watching. And I'm a fan of the original cheesy TV movie with Tim Curry because Tim Curry was amazing.
Tim Curry is just a fucking creep.
No, he's not. In the film, I see what you mean. Yeah, as Pennywise, he was so creepy.
He's also been in Criminal Minds, which I've just finished watching.
No way, has he really?
Fucking creepy in that.
He plays it well, though. But do you not always, if you hear him talking, do you not immediately just think of the Wild Thornberrys?
A little bit.
Yeah, right? Smashing. I hope Tim Curry's doing well. I know I think he had a stroke and he's been in a wheelchair for the past few years. But I love Tim Curry. Tim Curry's brilliant. I did not know he was in Criminal Minds. This makes me want to watch Criminal Minds. Is he a big character?
Like, he is a big character for a few episodes.
Okay. So it's like he's got a little episode arc.
Yeah, but
okay.
He's not.
Are you just looking at a horrible picture of Tim Curry here?
This is him in.
Okay.
I know it's a terrible cutout.
No, that's okay. So this is the picture Adam's chosen for Tim Curry. Okay, yeah, that is creepy. But I love Tim Curry. But Skarsgård's interpretation of Pennywise was phenomenal in the first movie. I'm excited for the next one. The director seems to know what he's doing. That's Andy Muschietti. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm probably butchering it. But yeah, he's a very good director. He is also directing a new movie, which is moving straight on to the next story.
Because his hands in all the pies.
I do. He has his hands in all the pies. Attack on Titan has found its director in the director of... I should specify. He is... It's not inside him. They didn't cut him out. It's not like the big bad wolf.
Is he like a Russian nesting doll?
Yeah, exactly. No.
Inside director is another little director that's grown up.
Andy Muschietti is directing the Attack on Titan movie. Obviously, he directed last summer's box office smash with it, and now he's going on to direct this. Anyone that's not familiar with Attack on Titan, it is if not one of the most popular anime shows at this moment in time.
And it's also got a Netflix TV series. I've never checked any of it out.
Is the Netflix TV series not just the anime?
Maybe.
I think it's just Netflix have got the access to the anime in the UK. I could be wrong. Anyone could verify that. That'd be fine. But yeah, I think it's Netflix have the rights in the UK. You can also catch it on, I think, Crunchyroll and other things. It's a great show to watch. It follows a series. It's a series that follows a group of teenagers who desperately are trying to find a way to defend their walled city from a killer race of giants who want to eat the city's inhabitants. It's on Netflix. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. If it's on your Netflix in your country, you should check it out. It's a great anime. There is English dubs and all that sort of stuff, so you don't have to do subtitles if you're not into that. I know that does put some viewers off of anime, having to sit and read while they're wanting to watch their like cartoon action. But it's great. It's expected to go into production, the live action, after he finishes development on it.
Test footage of this, or was
there
that
was fan films?
made?
There was fan films that have happened a few times. This is going to be a full like feature length film, box office sort of thing. I'm intrigued because I haven't seen season 3 of Attack on Titan. I've watched seasons 1 and 2. It's a lot of very intricate, over the top animated action pieces that I'm very curious how they're going to pull them off in live action, especially the giants, because the giants are these creepy looking guys with no skin. And they're like
very high CGI budget.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be. But they're obviously putting it in the hands of a guy who knows how to do horror. So I'm hoping it's gonna get. It's not just gonna be a teen rating. They might at least go for kind of like a 15 in the UK.
Also, yeah.
Something like that. We'll see. But yeah, that's Attack on Titan, which is exciting. And as I say, it's available on Netflix. Another thing that's available on Netflix, and this is kind of a big deal. Castlevania has been renewed for a 3rd season. Netflix have broken their streak of cancellations.
I feel like they're just cutting house.
They really have, because they got rid of the Marvel ones. We understand why there might be reasons on that, because their first seasons did poorly, but then they give them second seasons. American Vandal, both seasons did very, very well, brought a lot of subscription numbers in, and they still cancelled American Vandal last week. Castlevania, which I would have thought would have been a much smaller show, although it has done very well in season 2, is phenomenal. It's got a 3rd season. So that's great. I'm very happy. From what I've read about, Netflix are putting more money into animation because they're realizing that's where the money is nowadays than they are in live action. They're cutting a lot of the live action stuff so that they can put it in, because shows like BoJack Horseman, and obviously you've got all the ones on other networks like Rick and Morty and things like that, are obviously making a lot of money. Warren Ellis is returning to write and produce season 3 of Castlevania. The series is loosely based on Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. It follows Trevor Belmont as he attempts to defend the village of Walchia from Dracula's accursed army. It is a great series. The first season's only 4 episodes. Season 2 is 8. Exactly.
I think season 3 is going to be 16.
I mean, we can only hope that they keep doubling down on that. That would be great. I'd be happy with just 8 again, though, because I haven't finished season 2 yet, but it's great so far. Next bit of entertainment news is continuing in the TV. I don't know if you'd seen this or not, and I know you'd be excited by it.
Hadn't.
And Alice Morgan spin-off show is apparently in development.
She's the best
from the
part
BBC.
Of Luther as well.
Exactly. So
second to Idris Elba.
To Idris Elba, of course.
But she's a fantastic character that is possibly one of the best that's portrayed.
So anyone that's not familiar with Luther, it is the show of... it follows DCI John Luther. He's a near genius murder detective whose brilliant mind can't always save him from the dangerous violence of his passions. That's the tagline that BBC give it.
It's a very
It's very serious, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's a serious show. It's a serious show. He punches a man in the street and then takes the glove off to get DNA evidence. That's always one of my favorite bits. Ruth Wilson is apparently, she's revealed she's in talks for a spin-off show. She says she's happy to sign up so long as the script and storyline is right, because she loves the character and she wants to continue playing it. This would obviously be a spin-off of Luther. Luther launched in 2010. How long ago was that? So 1 second. Followed by a second series in 2011, a third in 2013. The series had its fourth season, which was only 2 episodes long, and it was broadcast in December 2015. We're expecting season 5 to drop. We don't know when. When I read that it was December 2015, it immediately got me excited that we could be getting it this year.
It'll either be this year, it'll be just
early next.
It'll be like the new year.
Well,
drama that they put on.
Because I've been using iPlayer the past few weeks just to catch up on The Apprentice, I've noticed that it's pushing Luther on me big time. Like, it keeps going like, check out, we got all the episodes of Luther. Come watch Luther. It's like the big banner there is like Luther, Luther, Luther. And I'm like, now it's suddenly hit me. What if we're actually getting it really soon? Like December. Like, it could be the Christmas drama
I remember
production.
watching the last series in a hotel room down in Manchester.
Was that in December?
That's when I was...
It was 2015. That's how long ago it was.
But
it is a show that's...
Isn't the new season... Like, Alice is working into that as well.
Yes. Alice is back in the new season, so it would be the perfect backdoor pilot to start her own spin-off if people enjoy it.
So good. If you haven't watched Luther, go watch it.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely.
Back to her.
Alice is obviously a big part of Luther's world. I think she's some sort of scientist. I can't actually remember what her original job title is.
She's a psychopath.
She's a complete psychopath. So I'm going to be interested to see how it works as a spin-off without Idris Elba's character, without Luther. If she is just the they're going to have to add other characters to balance her out, or we're going to spend the entire show inside of her head and
it's all a
figuring
dream.
out how it all... We're more so just seeing her reasoning for doing some of these psychopathic things, because she's very, very clever lady, and she does sometimes do things for the betterment of others, but 9 times out of 10 she's just a psycho.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see that we'll be literally watching a villain, but that's becoming the hot thing. We had Suicide Squad, we're getting the Joker movie. Villains being the title roles. Well, yeah.
Let's actually let's say it's just the one. Jared Leto's...
I don't think the Jared Leto Joker movie is even happening. There's not been any confirmation. He's off joining the Venom universe now.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's in a garbage can which DC set on fire.
Exactly.
And he never comes out of it again.
But yeah, no, I thought that's exciting. I love Luther. I can't wait for the next season, and I'm excited if they do a spin-off with Alice. I just want to see more Alice.
I wonder if they're going to do Luther and then maybe Sherlock next.
Yeah, they have been working on another season of Sherlock, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they've got
then they're
lots.
also doing that Dracula one that we talked about, I think, last week by the same creators. We'll see. BBC's been doing good drama lately. I really enjoyed the Bodyguards and stuff.
They're
pushing their game with drama.
Fuck the soaps.
Yeah.
Nobody watches them anymore. We're going to go drama heavy.
Do drama heavy, and they're great. They're winning loads of awards.
I hear people mention like the Bodyguard and...
Yeah, no, or Killing Eve.
That's it, Killing Eve.
Yeah, all great dramas that are on the BBC, and they also end up them being on Netflix. They have big partners, like the Dracula that they're doing with the creators of Sherlock is a BBC one that will then go to Netflix. I know The Bodyguard recently just released on Netflix.
Oh, did it? I did not know that.
So everyone can go and watch it on there, but obviously it was originally, and I think it's a Netflix original, but it's really not. It's a BBC show, and it came out on BBC every week. Speaking of something that came out a long time ago, because obviously Luther, I didn't realize it was 2010 when it first started. Even further back, Austin Powers 4 is apparently looking good, according to Mike Myers.
Austin Powers always looks good.
Shagadelic. Mike Myers has confirmed the existence of Austin Powers 4 in the fact that it is actually, it's looking like it could be getting closer to production. During an interview for his latest project, Bohemian Rhapsody, he teased the 4th Austin Powers movie is looking good. He said that they take a long time to write. They always have. The last movie, Goldmember, which I remember loving as a kid, because I loved all the movies as a kid, but it released in 2002.
You think they still hold up now? Have you watched
I don't know,
one
but
recently?
we haven't had films like this in a long time.
Johnny English.
And that didn't hold... Well, the new one didn't get fantastic reviews. I mean, for families, 45% of Rotten Tomatoes is probably pretty good.
Yeah, for a family
movie. Picture. I don't never consider Austin Powers to be a family film, though. I mean, it's all
it wouldn't be a
sex and stuff.
family film, but it's more like the comedy.
It is. It's very much. It's that silly comedy, but I always loved it.
It's the relief from the Bond movies is how I was saw it.
Yeah.
The comic relief side of it.
He says that the long delay between the movies is purely due to the fact that he's been a dad. He's got 3 kids now, and he wanted to take time away from movies and actually spend time with his kids and being a dad.
I was going to say, because he never really...
He's been in films, more often than not nowadays when you see him, he's not... When you think of Mike Myers, you think of Mike Myers playing like characters. He's a character actor. He plays all of his roles. Whereas Mike Myers nowadays, he was in Inglourious Bastards, where he was just playing a Nazi soldier, and more recently, he obviously was in Bohemian Rhapsody, where I think he plays an agent or something like that. Like, he just plays a normal role. But yeah, I guess it's easier,
role.
so much easier to do that and have, you know, a few months on the set of filming than have years of writing and pre-production and post-production and all that sort of stuff.
I think maybe his bank balance is getting a little low.
Maybe he wants to jump back in for the Austin Powers. They'll re-release all of the previous movies as well to go along with it.
HD remakes.
Yeah. Another one that is even older. But I was surprised by this one. This was the announcement came via Instagram. Bad Boys 3 is finally going into production after many delays. Martin Lawrence posted on Instagram. He actually posted a picture. I don't know if you want to pull this up. Just because it
feels like this has been announced
many times. It's been delayed.
Many times over.
It's been delayed so many times. So this was the picture that he posted, a picture of himself and Will Smith. He said, "It's official, Bad Boys for life," and hashtagged it and tagged at Will Smith in it as well.
Do you think that's confirmation, or is it just that
it is apparently going? It was expected to go into production early next year. It kept getting pushed back, and then it was expected to go in production early next year, like January time. If it didn't get another delay, I think him posting this on Instagram probably means it is officially going into production next year. Now it's not going to be delayed any further. It feels like a weird thing to post if they're then going to push it back again.
Yeah,
I feel like it's probably all lined up. They're both available on projects, more so Will Smith than him. I know he's done quite a few things since, and he's done TV and stuff like that.
Floating around at the moment from like some talk show thing that
he's done lots of stuff.
No, it's with Jada.
Oh, what?
He does like
who? Sorry, Will Smith or Martin
Will
Lawrence?
Smith.
Oh, Will Smith.
He's like, there's videos going around at the moment of like how they met and.
Oh, he's done a lot. He does a lot of online. His YouTube channel.
This is just like
series.
100% like on her. She must have like some podcast or talk show that
right.
She
that makes
does,
sense.
But like it's her, a mother, and Willow. And they all sit around the table, and he's the guest, and he's going through like, his life. I
think they've tried to go on the whole online sort of things. I'd be interested in checking that out. I watched his videos where he did a whole thing that for his. Did he just turn? Did I imagine he just turned 40 or something? And he did a whole thing where he went and bungee jumped out of a helicopter or something like that.
I've seen a few like of his.
He does all those sort of things.
Facebook posts. It's insane.
But yeah, filming is set to start next year. Esquire has the actual plot listed. It is such a Bad Boys plot. It's so stupid sounding, but I'm going to read it anyway. The film sees Lawrence's character, Marcus Burnett, working as a private eye after a falling out with Smith's Mike Lowry, who is going through a midlife crisis as a bachelor who finally wants to mature, all while dealing with a new, young, and cocky partner who's loyal to Smith's Lowry. But that loyalty is not reciprocated, and finds bond with Burnett when he returns to the fray. Lowry and Burnett are brought together again when when a lean, mean, skilled Albanian mercenary with a vendetta puts a death order on Lowry and Burnett for the death of his brother. Now the two must work together once again to bring him down.
That is 100% Bad Boys.
It's such a stupid plot. Bad Boys 1 was released in 1995, with the sequel Bad Boys 2 released in 2003. So this is an even bigger, not a bigger gap than Goldmember with Austin Powers, but it's still a big gap since the last film. I'll totally check it out when it comes out. It'll probably be real trash. I feel like
this is like Smith's weird foothold in like that era of his life again.
Yeah, totally.
Aladdin.
All we can hope is Wild Wild West.
He's going more Fresh Prince.
Yeah, he's starting to do that sort of thing. Aladdin's been described as Fresh Prince. Telling you, we need Wild Wild West too.
If they bring Wild Wild West 2, I will lose my shit.
I
hold Wild West up there with some phenomenal movies. It is the pinnacle of 90s cheese.
And it is. It's complete 90s cheese, but it's the best. To round out our entertainment releases for this week, we've got the releases for movies that you can catch in the cinema if you fancy it this weekend. Friday, November 2nd in the UK, Juliet Naked. You can catch that in the cinema, starring Rose Byrne, Ethan Hawke, Chris O'Dowd, and The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, starring Keira Knightley, Helen Mirren, Richard E. Grant, Morgan Freeman, and Mackenzie Foy. They both drop in the UK this Friday. That's tomorrow, November 2nd. And on Tuesday, November 6th, next week, you can catch Widows, starring Viola Davis, Michelle Rodriguez, and Liam Neeson. It's also got a way bigger extended cast. It looks quite interesting. I've been intrigued by that one. I think it's one of these ones they set up a load of actually big stars like Liam Neeson to be these, like, I don't know if they're bank robbers or mercenaries or something, and they all like die and their widows essentially have to come take over.
Oh.
So like I think it's these ones where they've got these big stars and then they die at the start of the film. I think that's just from, that's what I gather from the trailer. Exactly. But I mean, Viola Davis would sell me on it anyway. And Michelle Rodriguez is great in action. If you're in the United States across the pond, I said that, I slurred that, United States, this Friday, November 2nd, you get your release of Bohemian Rhapsody starring Rami Malek, Lucy Boynton, Ben Hardy, and Aidan Gillen. I think every week that I've read out when that's coming out, because we obviously had our release last time, I've changed like the order or the people that's in it. Like I don't think I mentioned Aidan Gillen last time, but then after playing Quantum Break, every time I see Aidan Gillen in something,
He's got to be in it.
Yeah, absolutely. You also get your release of The Nutcracker and The Four Realms. That comes out on the same day. I won't list the cast again because you heard it just before. You also get Bodied, which I am genuinely intrigued by. I don't know if you've seen anything about Bodied. It is being produced by Eminem. It is all about...
Oh, is this the rap battle movie?
It's all about rap battles and stuff. And it's starring Callum Worthy, Jackie Long, Rory Uphold, and Walter Perez. It's got a massive extended cast. Corey Worthy... he was one of the main characters in the first season of American Vandal, and he was very good. But yeah, I'm genuinely intrigued. I've
seen it. I've been always like, it's always been
You've
like
seen the trailers and
Eminem.
Stuff. Yeah, it's always the promoting it with Eminem. It looks interesting. It looks like it's got a good sense of humor to it. It's been produced with YouTube Red, which also means it's going to be hitting YouTube Red and the internet before the end of the year. But if you're in the US, you can catch it this Friday, November 2nd. And the final one is Boy Erased, starring Lucas Hedges, Nicole Kidman, and Russell Crowe. If you fancy staying in for the weekend, and you have a Netflix subscription, you can check out House of Cards Season 6, dropping tomorrow, November 2nd, starring Robin Wright, Michael Kelly, Jane Atkinson, and Campbell Scott. I am excited for it because I love... It's the final season. It is
the be all and end all.
It makes sense to be because of the whole shake-up they had to do because of all this. We don't need to go into it here, but all the Kevin Spacey stuff. So they had to basically cut him out of the show entirely. But last season they did start setting up Robin Wright's character to be she was almost ready to take over. It felt almost natural what they're doing with it. So I'm excited to see how the show is going to end. I loved House of Cards. So yeah, I'm excited by that. The next one's an interesting one. The Other Side of the Wind is Orson Welles' autobiographical film that's been 48 years in the making. He never finished it. He started making it himself. He never finished it due to financial troubles. But now, editor Bob Murawski, with the help of Peter Bogdanovich and Wells' own daughter, Beatrice, they've finished his autobiographical film themselves. And it's coming to Netflix tomorrow, November 2nd. And on top of that, they're also releasing They'll Love Me When I'm Dead, which is a documentary all about Orson Welles. So you can see an autobiographical film, and then you can see a biographical film. And the biographical film also covers the making of The Other Side of the Wind, obviously the film he never finished himself. Inception. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting thought that, yeah, there's this film that he was making himself about himself, and he never got to actually release it. And it's 48 years in the making.
Now it's coming out.
Now it's coming out. And if you want some Christmas fluff, you can catch The Holiday Calendar. It's a Christmas rom-com starring Kat Graham, Ron Cephas Jr., and Quincy Brown. It looks like Christmas fluff. It's one of these ones that is my example.
Now that Halloween's out,
exactly,
all
they
the
can drop the
Christmas fluff movies are going to start.
This is one of those films that I would give as the example of when I don't think Netflix's stamp of approval means all that much, because it looks like Christmas trash, if I'm honest. But sometimes Christmas trash is exactly what you want.
What you want is to just put the Yule log on repeat.
Yeah, that's all you need. You just need to have a screensaver with the Yule log playing over and over. But that brings us to the end of the entertainment releases. So yeah, that is the end of the entertainment update and brings us towards the end of the show. I don't know, has there been anything? There hasn't been any mentions. There hasn't been any subscriptions, anything like that to mention. So we thank you guys for watching. If you watch this live on Twitch, then thank you very much for doing so. If you're watching this on YouTube or via podcast, of course, head on over to Twitch. It means that you can watch this live next week. We broadcast this every Thursday, 7 p.m. GMT, so you can get your weekly update. Come and join the fun. And one final time, if you're interested in grabbing Audible, you can, of course, head on over to SnatchyBuckles.com/Audible. Get your 50% off your first 3 months. That's SnatchyBuckles.com/Audible. And join it. Have fun. I'm going to round us out now with our outro music. But I think that's it. It's been a good week of updates.
It's a bit slower on the news, but
slower news.
Still there. I guess we're coming to the tail end.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that playing? Yes.
It is?
Very, very quiet, though.
I don't know. Have I gone deaf?
No, I think I can hear it just a little bit. Yeah, I hear it. Sorry, guys. We're only just hearing our own outro music. But yeah.
It's blasting in my ears.
Usually. Oh, that was it there. We were a bit late. So, we're going to round it out. Of course, thank you very much for joining us. And we will catch you
in the next update.
Bye, guys.